Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Breakfast and Business. It's Tuesday here in the UK, 8 a.m. Remember, we do these broadcasts Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. UK time, just to give you an idea that might be new that you can go and put into practice, or sometimes it's just reminding you of something you already knew that you maybe need to go and take action on. So one of the ways we need you to get involved with Breakfast and Business is let's let other people know about this. This week we're covering loads of stuff around content creation, and we want to help as many people as possible. Those who know me will know my own personal motto is that I selfishly want to help everyone. And so if you can help me to help more people, you can either tag them in the comments, hit the share button, or pass this information on to someone and let them know all about Breakfast and Business. Now, as you join the broadcast, no matter what platform you're on, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, it doesn't matter where you're watching, use the comments. Please do get actively involved. This is not just about consuming, it's about getting actively involved. So as you come in, let me know if you're live or on the replay, and also where you're tuning in from. Always good to know where we're reaching around the world. Now, Breakfast and Business is about active participation. So use the tools within the platform, use the like, use the hearts, use the reactions. Doesn't matter, whatever you've got available to you within the platform to show me that you're following along and that it's making sense. One thing that you can do that is common across all the different platforms is to go and post red, yellow, or orange emojis in on the platform, because that shows me visually on screen through the broadcast studio that I'm using that I can actually see that you're following along, that it's making sense. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is hit share it to a group, share it to your wall, share it to a friend in Messenger or WhatsApp, but just pass it on to someone else, and we'll be starting in just a minute. I'm going to hit share really quickly here, so that we've given it the best chance of appearing across all the different platforms that we operate on. And as you come in, let me know how your week is looking this week so that we can connect. I want to get to know all of you just a little bit better and see how we can help all of you as well. Quickly do a couple of shares, and then we'll be launching into this week's topic. This week's all about content creation. So yesterday we tapped into a little bit of what content creation is. If you don't understand what content creation is, how can you possibly go and take action on creating content or creating better content? So you need to really understand what it is. If for any reason you haven't been involved, if you don't know what content creation is, please do go back and watch yesterday's broadcast, because if you don't know what it is, it's going to be hard to implement it, hard to put it into practice. I'm just going to do one more very quick share here. Okay, so if you don't know what content creation is, it's going to be complicated. It's going to be difficult to go and take action. It's going to be difficult to create content. A lot of people stumble over content creation for their business because they don't really get their head around what content is, what content creation is, and we really want you to understand what that content is. Now, basically, we touched on it yesterday, but if you want to hear it in full, please do go check it out via the hashtag Breakfast and Business, or go check it out via the Facebook and event pages. You can find those links really easily next to all the broadcasts, and check it out. Please check out the hashtag Breakfast and Business. Go to the event pages, see the whole schedule for what's coming up over the coming week. I'm going to quickly give you a heads up on what we covered yesterday and what's coming up moving forwards. Garlic Farm on the Isle of Wight, good to see you in on Instagram. Fantastic to have you in. So yesterday we talked all about what is content. Today we're going to talk about content as digital assets. This is one of my favorite things. It's something Daniel Priestley talks about all the time, is creating assets that you can use within your business on repeat. Wednesday we're going to be talking about repurposing by cross posting. Thursday is all about content behind content. Friday we've got a special segment for you, but it's also the opportunity to get all your content creation questions answered. So please do make sure you're tuned in Friday. Let your friends know. If you know someone who struggles with social media marketing, content creation, or anything like that, please do make sure you're in on Friday, 8 a.m. UK time. And Saturday, we're going to talk all about repurposing content by resharing. So there's loads of content coming up this week. And exactly these lives are content. So everything that you create within your business photos, videos, status updates, graphics, podcasts, everything that you're doing can become content. We touched on this yesterday about what is content, and most people think about content creation, and the very word creation strikes fear into people, having to come up with something, having to be creative all the time, when in reality you can document what you do, and that can be one of the things that drives your business forward, makes you more visible, helps your audience, and grows your business. So look at documentation over creation, as we were talking about yesterday. Now, everything you create, when you have a great system and process in place, is going to generate you, it's absolutely going to generate you digital assets. Just before we launch into today's digital assets section, I want to say hello to a few people who are tuning in. Great to see the Garlic Farm over on Instagram tuning in from the Isle of Wight. Guy Porteous coming in from Peterborough, Nathan down on the Isle of Wight, Sally in Leicester, Mum down on the Isle of Wight, Rachel coming in from Australia. Good to see you, Rachel. Nice to see you, or good day, as you say over there. Leanne Johns, nice to see you in as well. Rachel, amazing news, your Marmite arrived today. So those who don't know, you can't get Marmite out in Australia, so you have to ship it out. So fantastic to hear that that arrived safely. But yeah, so today I want to talk to you all about content as digital assets. Now, a lot of people don't really get this point, and it's such an important one, is so many people spend a lot of time creating when they're doing content creation, and they don't spend a lot of time in the system and process that sits behind that. How do we store it? How do we keep it? How do we access it again? When you realize that everything you create is a digital asset that you can use over and over again, you've heard me use the phrase sweat the asset. So create it once, use it multiple times, so make it work hard for you. Your time is your most valuable asset, and what you need to understand is when you create content, you need to be able to use it more than once. It is a digital asset that you can use multiple times. When you understand that, it becomes easier to create content, because you realize you don't have to create as much. As we've already alluded to, later in the week, we're going to be talking about repurposing and reusing content. Now, you can only repurpose and use content more than once if you have stored it, made it accessible, and made your life easy. So many people create things and they don't realize that every video that you record, every live stream that you do, you can download, and you have that as a digital asset to use moving forwards. One of the jobs I'm working on today in the office will be actually using and repurposing some of the breakfast and business videos into other content. So it'll be turning it into blogs. It'll be turning it into, we've actually had a request specifically to have it as a podcast. We've had other people ask if we can get this out in audio format over through radio stations and things like that. So there's exciting stuff coming with Breakfast and Business, but we live and breathe everything that we're talking to you about. We're not just talking in theory and in principle. We live and breathe the things that we are teaching and training you to do as well. All of the ideas that we share with you every single morning in Breakfast and Business, we're actually putting into practice. Sophie Faulkner, good to see you tuning in over on Instagram. Good morning. Thanks for joining for another Breakfast and Business. Remember, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m, something new, something as a reminder, but it's always something you can put into practice and into action. Now, I'll talk you through the system that we use and how we make sure that we save, salvage, and reuse and repurpose all of our digital assets. So every time we post a blog out, we've already got that saved in a digital format online in the cloud before it ever goes out online. Now, a lot of people wouldn't. They would do it the other way. They would write a blog or a LinkedIn article or something straight onto their website, and they wouldn't necessarily have a backed up copy of it. Now, you need to keep a backup. Think about if the worst happened. Maybe your website hosting went down and you didn't have a backup. You'd have all sorts of dramas getting yourself back to where you had already got to. Not even to get ahead, just to catch up to where you were. So it's super important that you understand the digital assets are the things that you create along the way that you can use multiple times. They're also the things that have already been used, but you need them in a safe space so that you can access them later on. Now, when we write our blogs, so we use the content creation machine. So we do videos and we turn those videos into blogs. Those blogs are already in digital format, saved in the cloud, and we use Google's G Suite. So for anyone who knows about that, it basically is a whole productivity suite that is your emails, your calendar, your cloud storage. It's got a whole range of suite in there, including the equivalent of the Microsoft Office suite. And for for the equivalent here of we worked this out the other day. So for the business one, it's about £8 here in the UK per month per user. In America, I think it's about $20. Australia, I think, is about $15 per month. Allows you to save every single photo, every single video, but it's giving you this whole collection, this whole digital asset library that you can tap into, repurpose, reuse, and get out in front of more people more often, show up and make the very best use of your most valuable asset of time, but only if you save them, only if you back it up. So we need to look at everything that we create for social media marketing, for digital media, that everything we create is a digital asset that can be used multiple times. If you don't save it, you can't go back and use it again. If you can't put it somewhere where it's easily accessible, it's going to create a chore to use it and to repurpose it. I want to make your life easy today by showing you exactly how we do that. So, for example, this Facebook Live happens, and this is an interesting one because we have an extra step in the process for us, but a lot of people would be going live directly from their phone straight out to Facebook, for example. Now, when you finish directly on a mobile, you'd be able to have the option to save your video. You'd be able to save that video that you've done. It's out, it's live, it's on Facebook, and you can hit the save button to save it to your mobile phone. You've now got that saved and backed up once, but you don't have it stored off device. So we're going to talk about that. I do it through StreamYard, which adds an extra step in because I'm multicasting to various platforms. We're live on Instagram directly here on one device, and over here we're live over on Periscope and Twitch and YouTube and a couple of different Facebook places. So when we finish here, StreamYard already has a backed up copy of both the audio and the video that I can go and download after the broadcast. Now, when I download that, I've obviously got that video and that audio file. What do I do with it? So we then back that up into Google Drive. So it's part of G Suite. It's the cloud storage section of G Suite, and that allows us to put it into folders, to organize it. We have folders for Breakfast and Business, so all the assets that we're creating for Breakfast and Business, so that we can keep everything neat and organized and accessible. Now, there's things that we need access to quickly, so even within our folder structure there, we've got some things that are like quick access, so things we need access to really quickly that are top level folders that I can get straight to in literally 2 clicks to be able to save them, whether it's a photo we've taken, a video, maybe it's a screenshot, but all of those bits and pieces that we bring into our cloud storage are digital assets that we're going to use again later. Even if you don't know how you're going to use it or what you're going to use it for later, saving all of the content back into your cloud storage is going to help you to back it up. Now, one thing that will make your life even easier, if maybe you're too busy, maybe you're going to forget, maybe you're not in the process of backing and saving everything at the moment. One thing you can do that will make it really simple, if you're using your mobile phone to do your lives or to record your videos or to take your photos, is using something like Google Photos that automatically backs up your photos. You might have it over mobile data if you've got a great data plan, or you might have it only on Wi-Fi, which means when you get home or when you connect to the next Wi-Fi, it will back up all the photos and videos on your device into Google Photos. Now, that's a different storage to Google Drive, but imagine having it saved on your device, on Google Photos and on Google Drive. Means that you've got your assets backed up, saved, and ready to use again. Now, one of the great things about Google Photos is you can actually use the power of Google search and Google image recognition to find things based on its geographic location, based on what's in the pictures or videos, or maybe even the dates and times that you created it. So it's really quick to go back and find things. So it kind of helps you with that organization process if you haven't set up your folder structure and started saving into something like Drive. Now, I can see someone coming in and saying, oi, oi, but I can't see who you are. I'm guessing that you're live in our group. So please do let us know your name, whether you're live or on the replay, and where you're tuning in from, so that I can see who you are, because some of the platforms are not showing us faces. We're literally just getting Facebook users. So make sure that you do let us know who you are so that we can say hi really, really quickly. Rachel, great to see Rachel. This is exactly what we're talking about with Breakfast and Business, tagging people in. Let somebody else know. Each one teach one. Every time you learn something on Breakfast and Business, please do share it with someone else. tag them and pass it on to somebody else, right? Share this broadcast to your wall, to your group, to your business page. Let's help somebody else out today. It's Mr. Freeman, Chris Freeman. Great to see you in the house this morning. So Breakfast and Business this week is all about content creation. Chris, I know with what we've been discussing, you're going to need this for the next steps of your journey. Everything that you do, you want to take photos, you want to record videos, you want to write notes and blogs about the things that you're doing. Every single business should be doing this. Like, if you follow people like Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks a lot about how we need to be media agency first. So a media agency first, and then we need to be the business that we do second. Why? Because the way that we communicate these days is done through media. It's done through digital marketing. It's done through video, audio, graphics, written content. It is media creation that is what is going to drive the business forward. Now, before you all jump on and you say, yeah, but I get loads of referrals and I get this, the only way to consistently produce leads and to be seen and to be visible and to remain consistently generating leads is not to rely solely on recommendations and referrals. Yes, they're a core part of what you do. Yes, word of mouth is fantastic. It's one of the best things you can do. When I talk about trust equity, is word of mouth is so important. But when you understand that digital marketing and social media is accelerated word of mouth, it is amplified word of mouth. When you understand that digital marketing, social media is amplified, accelerated word of mouth, people can spread that quicker. Exactly just like Rachel did there where I shared it. She's tagging someone and letting someone else know in an instant that that person can come and join the broadcast and can come and find out more. So it's a really quick way as word of mouth for people to be able to spread, share, and pass on your message from your business. Now, the more content you put out, the more people have to share. Also, the more digital assets you're creating that can serve you longer term. Whenever we start working with people on the content creation machine, we always remind people that everything that you're creating now isn't just throwaway content. It is content that is there to serve a purpose. It's to help your audience. It's to educate, to inform, and to connect with your target market, right? So when you do that, that's one part of it. The second part of it is you're creating a digital asset that is going to serve you later. So right now, in this moment, creating content, you're connecting with your audience. What happens when you save those assets and you reuse them is that later down the line, you don't have to do the work again. There's a lot less work to reshare, repurpose that content to connect with a new audience, a new person within that network, that marketplace. Is this making sense? If it is, drop red, yellow, or orange emojis in on whatever platform you're tuned in on: Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, wherever you are. Drop red, yellow, or orange emojis so that I can see in the comments, or hit the hearts, the likes, the reaction buttons, so that I can see that you get this and that you're following along. Now, I really want you to understand the process of creating digital assets is easy when you're documenting, but when you document and you create content, you need to back it up, you need to save it, you need to store it somewhere, and you need to make it easily accessible, both to you and to people that you work with. Because trust me, sometimes the person repurposing it won't be you. Maybe someone within your team will be answering a question at some point, and that blog that you wrote, that video you recorded is the exact answer the customer needs, and it's an additional amount of value that they can answer with. So they can not only answer the question, they can say, look, I've got a great video that I'd love to send you afterwards. How useful would you find that? So giving people the opportunity not only to get the answer in the moment, but to provide them additional value without very much more effort. You can only do it when you're storing it effectively and efficiently, and you know where the content is. Now, this comes through good file structure. This comes through organization of how you put your digital assets together in your cloud storage, but having them in the cloud rather than locally on your phone or your computer or your laptop or your iPad or whatever it is. Having it in the cloud means it's accessible from any device. Now, that means that if I was out and about, and for example, yesterday we were in Nottingham, and whilst we were out and about, and I might have been grabbing a chai latte in the coffee shop, if someone called me and needed something and I didn't have my laptop with me, or that my laptop maybe wasn't charged or something like that, I would literally be able to log on to another computer, another tablet, another device, and access those files, folders, content, and pass that on to the person who needed it. So making it accessible to you from a wide range of places. Now, if you're collaborating with people, having it in the cloud means they can access that. And for me and the team here at It's Nomad 9, it means the minute I finish and I save this to my phone or to my computer and I put it in the cloud, they've instantly got access to that content, to turn it into another video, to create a blog from it, to pull the audio out and start creating a podcast with it. But you have to understand, if you don't put the process in place and you rely on remembering to do it, you have to have it as a core part of your process. A lot of people think, oh yeah, I'll get round to it. It's the same with so many things. It's the same with digital marketing, social media. A lot of businesses add it in as a when I get to it step, rather than it's a crucial, important part of the process. Rachel, thank you so much for doing the shares and the tags. This is exactly what I'm talking about with how to get involved with Breakfast and Business. If you find it useful, pass it on to other people. Today, all about content creation and storing your digital assets, right? I said content as digital assets was today's topic. Everything you create, every blog you write, every social media update. Now, this is one most people don't get. We use some social scheduling tools that allow us to save our status updates every time we're posting them. So we can create a load of status updates, reuse, repurpose them, so that we can drive a common theme on a consistent basis. Now, if you're not using a social scheduling tool that does that, there is another way to do this. When you think about a load of topics that you're going to talk about, you can put them into something like a Google Sheet, so a spreadsheet, the equivalent of Excel, and you can have all of those saved, stored digitally. That means if you suddenly get to a point where you realize you haven't posted any content for a while, you could access that spreadsheet quickly on your mobile device, your tablet, your computer, and you could take a status update and you could post it without having to think. So you need to understand that getting in the flow of content creation, when you're in that creative mode, create more content than you're posting in the moment. So like usually when I'm doing videos, I'm doing a time lapse or a behind the scenes and stuff like that. It's an additional piece of content that means the time I spend doing it is more effectively and efficiently used. How many of you have got, in fact, tell me in the comments, whatever platform you're on, let me know in the comments, do you have an old mobile phone? Maybe you've upgraded, maybe you decided that you're going to buy a new phone. Have you got an old mobile phone there? If you have, drop the phone emoji, right? Phone in the comments and let me know that you've got a spare second mobile phone. And I'll explain exactly why it's an important topic when you're in content creation. Before we launch into it, an older mobile phone obviously is going to have less good quality with the camera and things like that, because obviously you might have upgraded for a better camera, for a better experience across the whole device. But if you've got a spare mobile phone, let me break down one of the quick tips and tricks that I use all the time with our customers and clients. I'm going to have a quick sip of my coffee and then we'll launch into it. So if you own a second mobile phone, maybe it doesn't need to have a SIM card, doesn't have to have all of that. If you do, drop it in the comments that you've got a second phone. So to give you guys context, Sally Ann, who's down in the comments, has a mobile phone repair shop in Leicester. So if you're ever stuck with your phone and you've had some issues, please do feel free to reach out to her. She's talking about how she sells them on really quickly and fast. Now, the reason for a second mobile phone, exactly what I'm doing here, I'm live here on StreamYard through, this is my Samsung Galaxy Note 9. I'm using the Rode mics, the iOgrapher mount, and the newer stands and tilt heads. But this is one device. Now I'm also live on Instagram over here on a second device. Yes, it's another Note 9, but I'm live simultaneously across two devices. Most people don't need to do this, but if you have one phone that you're using as your primary place that you're talking to and speaking to here, always think about, I use my time once, how can I get more than one result? We're talking about a digital asset, creating more content in less time. I'm all about this. So if you had another device, then you could set it up to have a better experience. So let me see if I can swing this around. This may go horribly wrong. So if I swing this around here, this is the phone that is the Instagram phone. So I'm talking on more than one device at the same time. So I'm using my time once, but I'm creating two different bits of content. Now, the interesting thing here is here on Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, we're in a landscape format here on this device, but the other device is recording me in a portrait mode, which gives me the options for stories. It means if I want to reuse that content, I can pull a piece of it out and use it for my stories content. So thinking about how can I record in different formats? How can I record? And the formats might be landscape and portrait, or they might be in real time as video and as a time lapse. Because sometimes you might be doing teaching and training, like for me delivering courses, I show behind the scenes sometimes as a time lapse to show people how much work goes into creating those courses. So it's absolutely absolutely fundamental that you realize if you've got a second device, most people just leave it in a drawer, it's gathering dust, you know, like if you're not using it, like, yes, understand that having it as a backup is good in case your phone breaks, but use it. It is a tool that you can use literally for spending the amount that the phone is in, that the Instagram live is on, is literally like about, it's less than £10, so like 15 bucks US or Australian, that it gives me the option to create a second piece of content at the same time. So I work once and I get two results from it. I've got landscape and I've got portrait of the same content. Now that means I can use it in different formats. I can use it into the story format. I can repurpose it into a different style of video. This one looks really close up. This one's a lot further out. I could cut between the two and create some really interesting content off the back of this. I see Rachel is getting into this. She says, welcome for the shares. When I get my Samsung S20 Ultra, you'll get all on it. So a lot of people don't necessarily get rid of their phone when they upgrade. So if that's you and you have a second device, think about how you can use it. Whether you go out and you get all the fancy stuff, like I've got the iOgrapher and the newer stands and the Rode mics to get your main broadcast right, most people have a car sucker mount in their car, and most people leave it in the car. Bring it in. You can stick it on a window, like literally any flat non-porous surfaces. So it can be, some cupboard units will actually be a finish that will allow you to use it. So you've probably already got the tool. If you've ever used your phone as a sat nav and stuck it in the car with a sucker mount to the window, you've already got one of the tools that will allow you to use a second device behind the scenes. You can get an interesting angle, or you can put it in a different place. Now, that's also part of deciding where to do your content. So I'm going to quickly show the guys on Instagram, because I feel bad that we did it one way and not the other. So here on Instagram, we're in portrait mode, but you can see here we're in landscape mode over here. That is all the other platforms. So we're using it for multiple pieces of content at the same time. Now I'm going to have landscape mode and portrait mode of the same content, so I can repurpose it and reuse it. So this week, we're covering content creation in so many different formats. Today, it's so important to look at how you can reuse, repurpose, and use your time the most effectively and efficiently to create content, but most importantly, to understand that all the content you create is a digital asset for your business. Things that you can touch are very obvious that they're assets for your business, but things that you can't touch, the intangible things, the digital aspect of your business, the videos, the audio files, the blogs, the things you can't physically touch are still assets. They are digital assets. You have to understand that everything you create is a digital asset that you should store efficiently, effectively, and find how you can access it easily so you can sweat the asset later and get more out of the work that you do every single day in your content creation. So important that you understand this. Guy talking about this is brilliant. So you can, if you don't have a car sucker mount, there's loads of stuff. I've seen all sorts of ingenious ways of doing this. A cup, even if you've got a mug. In fact, I'll demonstrate. Even though I've got a coffee in here, I've literally seen people put their phone inside a cup to get the angle that they want to record a video or take a photo or get a time lapse. You don't have to spend loads of money on expensive equipment. We've got a page on our website that talks about equipment that might be useful or relevant to you. It's got the softwares we use, it's got the tools that we use, and we're going to update that page very shortly. But I'm going to show you how to access that. You can go to itsnomad9.com/recommendations. Now that page is getting an update over the next week or so to show you all the things that we've got access to, the things that we use so that you can see behind the scenes. I'm always taking behind the scenes examples to show people. Now, if I show you exactly what I'm talking about with making use of your time and your content behind the scenes, showing off the time lapse, creating more content, I'll do an exact example for you now, because we live and breathe exactly what we're talking about. So I'm going to show you now, even though we're live on Instagram, I'm going to put something in my Instagram story right now live whilst we're on here. Hey Instagram, if you're not already here, what are you doing? We're live on Instagram over here. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. Come and join us for Breakfast and Business, 8 a.m. UK time every single week. This week is all about content creation. See you there. So again, making use of your time, showing behind the scenes. I'm doing something that's away from what I'm doing here, but you can see I'm living and breathing exactly what we're talking about. So whilst we're here live, I'm also creating another piece of content for my story. So whether you're on Instagram Live or whether you're on any of the other platforms, I've created multiple pieces of content in the same moment. And this is what I want you to understand. Hey, Matt Hudd coming in on Instagram. Great to see you in on the Instagram this time, mixing it up. Again, feel free to change platforms, see what the format looks like, and understand how this works. I want to show you how we do it. So I've created Instagram stories. I'm live on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch. I'm also live on Instagram. I'm helping you every single morning, Monday through Saturday, to create better content. This whole week is content creation, and today is about creating digital assets for your business that are going to serve you moving forwards. Everything you create is a digital asset. Just because you can't touch it, you need to organize it. You need to put it somewhere that's accessible. For us, that means using Google's G Suite, using Google Drive, and putting that into files and folders that makes it easily accessible. We use Google Photos to back up every photo, every video that we record, so that we can repurpose it, reuse it. Keep your eyes out for some new format content coming from Breakfast and Business. We're going to strip the audio out and we're going to turn it into a podcast format as requested by some of the viewers who want to listen because they want to go for a run. So Sally, one for you. And this is going to come in podcast format as well, so that you can go and you can go for your run, you can put it on and you can lock your phone. So one of the things with a video format is you obviously have to be in and the device has to be open. We're going to put it in podcast so that you don't have to do that anymore. We're also going to repurpose some of the video and change it so you can get small bite-sized pieces. It's not 30 minutes at a time, it's going to be a couple of minutes at a time, so you can digest that in individual chunks. Remember, everything is only as useful as the learning that you implement. Information isn't where the magic happens, it's implementation, putting it into practice. So I don't want you to come to Breakfast and Business and think I'm learning something. I want you to come to Breakfast and Business and put it into practice. I want you to come back to Breakfast and Business and tell me the results that you're getting based on the things that we're teaching you. This week is all about content creation. Every week has a theme. Week one was all about money. So if you want to talk about money, you like that thing that people are scared about talking about. A lot of people are fearful of it. It strikes the fear of God into people to go and talk about money and finance and payments and payment terms and how do we handle that. We talked all about it over the space of a week, breaking down everything you need to know about money. This week is all about content. So yesterday we broke down what is content and how easy it can be to create content. Don't allow the fear of perfection, don't allow perfection to lead to procrastination. Don't allow it to stop you from doing what you need to do to create content. You need to show up, you need to create content, whether it's videos, whether it's photos, whether it's time lapse, whether it's blogs, whether it's audio. The format isn't important. The platform isn't important. The fact that you're doing it is what's important. How many of you yesterday, when I set the challenge, went and took a photo or recorded a video? I want to see little hands up emojis if you did. Let me know that you took a photo or a video. In fact, let me know whether it was a photo or a video, because I'm interested to know what format you went to join. Hey, in fact, fantastic to have you in, buddy. Nice to see you in this morning. And I'm really glad you made it as well. So let me know from yesterday if you went and took action, if you took a photo, if you took a video. I challenge you to do it. Today, I'm asking you to look at how you store your digital assets. Every photo, every video, every piece of content you create is a digital asset that you can sweat later. Use your time once and get multiple results. In this moment, I'm live across multiple platforms in landscape here. I'm portrait over here, and I've even created a third piece of format content on Instagram within my stories. So I'm using stories, I'm using live, and I'm trying to use all the tools at the same time. If you own a second mobile phone, record behind the scenes. I know for you guys, especially when you're doing your trainings, you do a little bit in your stories. Get some time lapse going on, set it up, show behind the scenes in deeper level, and then you can start to reuse that into telling a better story. Your content creation is all about telling your story, showing up and being visible. If you're not visible, if you're not front of mind, people are not going to do business with you. You have to create an amazing piece of content. Eddie Young in here over on Facebook, yes, he did take action yesterday, posting out onto TikTok. Sally Ann posting a video live. I know you're very active and live in your community. Elliot Brown, good to see you in this morning, coming in live from Essex as well. So yeah, here's a really good one. Rachel, do you consider people with disabilities with captions, etc.? So when we create content, so in the live format, we don't really have as much control because obviously it's down to the platforms and how they handle creating captions in the format that we're in live. But when we're looking at creating content moving forward, you'll see the video format we're putting out. Rachel, this is super important based on what you've said. We actually burn the subtitles into our videos, so they're on screen, they're already turned on. It's not just people with disabilities. 80 to 85% of people who are consuming content online nowadays are watching it with the sound off. Think about it. The really basic examples I can give you straight off the top of my head. If I wake up earlier than my partner and I want to watch a video without climbing out of bed, without disturbing her, I'm not going to put the sound on. So having subtitles on screen is going to help me to consume that content. Think about if you're a parent and your kids are watching whatever show, Peppa Pig or something like that. And if you're sat on the sofa and you click play on a video, as soon as that plays, it's going to distract them and it's going to cause you to have to stop watching and to deal with them. But you could easily watch something that educates you whilst being in the room with them, and they can consume what they want because of subtitles and captions. So an absolutely brilliant question, Rachel. So if you can put captions on your content, if you do a live, take the live, look at the captions. So things like Facebook and YouTube are actually live captioning the content that's going out as you're talking. Obviously, for you, those who don't know, we use these Rode wireless mics. So over on Insta, that's the Rode wireless mics that we use, but it allows us to get better quality audio, which means that the captioning services are better than if you use just the native format. So look at the tools that make your life easier. They live caption, but they're never 100% correct. So it's worth going back and correcting them using your strict as words to use as blogs. You can pull all your subtitles out. I know Eddie's been working on this. Eddie's attended one of our workshops where we've told him, we do video, we transcribe the video and sort out the subtitles, and those subtitles then get turned into blog format. If you go to itsnomad9.com and read one of the blogs about content creation, literally taken from a video, you can see the video it's been created from at the bottom. We have a system that we generated hundreds of bits of content from that we created about 9 years ago to solve my problem of regularly showing up, creating a mass of content, staying front of mind and keeping visible. Even when I'm teaching, training, coaching, mentoring businesses, I can still show up online. I've literally had people say, I've seen you online. I'm like, I was actually delivering a training when that content went out. I will go back. So the bit that is active for me is the comments. I go back and I talk in the comments. So as you get involved on whatever platform you're talking on, I'm going to come back to the comments and I'm going to talk to you there. Yes, I'll talk partly in the live, but I want to give you as much value as possible. We're slightly over the half an hour this morning, but I wanted to make sure that you guys really, really understand this topic today. All of this week is content creation. Yesterday, we talked about what is content. Today is content as digital assets. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about repurposing content by cross-posting, how to get maximum visibility. Thursday is all about the content behind the content. I've alluded a little bit to that today. If you've got a second mobile phone, get that phone ready. While you're watching this, if you've got the second phone, you could be taking a photo of you sat watching this and posting it online using the hashtag breakfast and business. And we can see that, we can engage. I tell you, when you talk about what we do and we engage on it, we're bringing our audience to you whilst you're also sharing your audience with us. Does that make sense? So Friday, we're going to do a really special segment, but we also want to answer all your content creation questions. So make sure you tune in Friday, 8 a.m. UK time. We do Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. every week, different topic each week, and we break it right down into small segments. But Friday is all about your questions being answered and a special segment. And then Saturday, repurposing content by resharing. So Wednesday is repurposing by cross-posting, but Saturday is repurposing by re-sharing to get the most out of your time. Your time is your most valuable asset, and I'm mindful of that. Coming up to 40 minutes. Thank you so much for spending time with us at Breakfast and Business today, whether you've been here before or whether it's your first time here. Thank you for spending some of your most valuable asset of time with us today. Whatever platform you're on, please do share this with someone else. Each one teach one. If you learn something, pass it on to someone else. Even if you tell them vocally, whether you text it to them, send it on Messenger, WhatsApp, inside the DMs of the platform you're on, please help someone. Tag them, hit share on the broadcast. I don't care how you pass it on, but pass it on. We do it completely for free. We're not selling anything. It's all about helping the people who need it. Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. UK time, so British summertime for those of you tuning in from around the world. Rachel, thank you so much for tuning in from literally the other side of the world over in Australia. Great to have you in on the broadcast. But Breakfast and Business is 6 days a week. It's completely free. It's about 30 minutes a day. Today, a little bit more value for you guys at 40 minutes. But thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We're going to go all the way through this. We're going to break down content creation in loads of different formats throughout the week. I hope you've had value from this. So good. In fact, always good to have the feedback. Remember, whatever platform you're on, red, yellow, or orange emojis is a really visual way to show me that you've appreciated it and you've got some value from it as well. Thank you, Rachel, for your nice words. Brilliant live today. Got so much out of it. Thanks. Great to see you sharing and tagging the friends to get them into the broadcast as well. Again, don't be scared, don't be fearful. You're going to make blunders, you're going to fall over, you're going to trip up sometimes, but getting stuck in the idea of perfection will lead to procrastination. So get it done, take that photo, record that video, record that audio, write that blog, but remember, store it as a digital asset today so that you can move your business forward. Stay front of mind, stay visible, stay connected, have better conversations, and help serve your market even better than you've ever done before. Thanks for tuning in for Breakfast and Business. Remember, Monday through Saturday, you can join us 8 a.m. BST. If you want to connect with me in between, you can find me as ImTristanG across all the different social platforms. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation wherever you want to connect. Jump in my inbox, drop me a message next to this video. I'd love to help you out in between these broadcasts. If I don't talk to you before, I will catch you for another Breakfast and Business tomorrow. You can always find it via the hashtag Breakfast and Business or catch it live bang on 8 a.m. every day, Monday through Saturday, on the platforms that we've discussed. You've got Instagram, you've got Twitch, you've got YouTube, you've got Facebook, you've got Periscope. You pick and choose where you watch. You pick and choose whether you're in landscape or portrait format, but get involved. Tell someone else, come and be an active participant and put it into practice. It's not just about learning it. It only works when you implement what you've learned. All it leaves me to say now is have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the world. And I hope to see you again for another Breakfast and Business very soon. Take care, guys, and speak tomorrow.